boys and girls, Miss Fortenberry here, back in her art studio creating awesome fun lessons for you guys. This week I created some monsters. But they're not very scary. They're not very scary monsters. They're kind of silly, they're kind of fun, and I made them out of toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. Look at this guy. He's so goofy. Look at this silly guy. And dun 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 dun. Look at her. I named her Sylvia. And actually, this isn't the guy. This is Frida. I named her Frida. Can you guess why? I'll reveal why in my video. And then one of my favorite ones, Fred. So these are my monsters I created. I'm gonna show you how to create them with simple, basic supplies that you probably have laying around the house. And there's lots of different options to choose from. I watched this story called, Hey, That's My Monster. And they showed lots of fun little creatures, lots of fun little monsters. And I thought, if I had a monster, what would Miss Fortenberry's monsters look like? Well, apparently I have 3 monsters, and they look pretty silly. I like to be silly. I just do. I'm not too big on being scary, but I had fun creating these, and that's what they turned out to be. I am going to show you how I created mine. I want you to show me your monsters. So come with me and let's start creating. So let's get started. I am using some tissue paper that I found in my gift wrapping station, left over from some gifts that I had. I'm cutting the paper to be a little bit longer than the length of my toilet paper roll. And I want to cut it long enough to go all the way around the toilet paper roll. After you get your paper cut, put glue all the way around your toilet paper roll. You can use stick glue or regular glue. It's totally up to you. And then you're going to want to wrap the paper all the way around the toilet paper roll. Make sure that all the ends are nice and glued down. So I'm pressing it. It's nice and tight around there. And then I'm just tucking in the ends of the paper inside the toilet paper roll. So now that I have my toilet paper roll covered and looking pretty, I'm cutting out some strips of white paper. I'm going to use these for my arms. So now you get to do the fun part, turning your tube into a monster. So for these arms, I just folded them back and forth, and I made it look like a little accordion fold, and I'm using them as my arms, and I'm going to glue them on. It doesn't matter if you use stick glue or regular liquid glue. They both work. If you don't have any glue, you could even use tape. And here you can see I have some fun little springy arms. So now I'm going to create some hair for this little monster. He's going to have some dark blue spiky hair. So just have fun with your monster. You can use whatever colors you want. If you have more things around the house than just paper, you could even add hair out of yarn or ribbon or tissue paper. So use your imagination, and you decide what your monster is going to look like. Time to add a mouth. Is my monster going to be a silly monster, an angry monster, a scary monster? I think he's going to be a silly monster. So I'm going to make a silly little mouth to add, and then I'll add a little tongue sticking out, and I'm only going to glue down part of the top of the tongue. That way I could curl it up and give it a little curly, sticky, outy tongue there. So I'm having a lot of fun creating this little guy. Now for the eyes. You are in charge of what this monster looks like. I happen to have some little googly eyes, so I'm just going to glue these down with my stick glue. But you can create eyes with marker, with paint. You can do it by cutting out paper and gluing it down. So you decide. You could even do button eyes. That would be fun. So I thought he was silly, so I had these googly eyes, and I thought this was the perfect monster to use these googly eyes on. And he's all done. Look at this silly little monster. I'm not sure if he would scare me enough to go to sleep, but I think I should give him a name. I'm going to name him Fred. Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, guys, let's see how I made my next silly monster. We are gonna make the hot pink monster now. I cut it so that it's longer than my toilet paper roll. I'm gonna roll it up, make sure that it fits, and then I will put glue all over the toilet paper roll and roll it up tight, making sure that all the edges are glued down. And then I will carefully tuck in the ends inside the toilet paper roll. It's okay if the ends rip a little bit while you're trying to push them on the inside. Just get them all in there nice and tight. Now, it doesn't really matter what part of the monster you start creating and adding to him, but I'm gonna start with the arms again. So I'm gonna draw my arms, and then I had actually folded my paper in half so that when I cut, I will cut out two. So I'm only drawing and cutting once, but then I get two exact symmetrical arms. And then I will just glue both of them down and get ready for the next details to add to my monster. Now I'm ready for the eyes. I'm going to do them a little bit different on this one. I'm drawing the type of eyes I want, and again, I folded my paper in half so that I only had to draw once, cut once, and then I have two exactly the same symmetrical eyes. So after I cut them out, then I got some white paper, and I'm going to cut out two little circles and glue them down, and then add the little black dot in the middle for the pupil, and then glue the eyes to my monster. And I'm going to draw the mouth on this one. I'm gonna make it a happy monster. So just with a black marker, I added a little curved line to give it a smile. And then I decided he needed some silly little goofy monster teeth. So I cut out two triangles and I glued them down for his teeth. And I think he is super cute, but I feel like he needs a little extra detail. So I decided to give it a little blue tummy. So I just drew the letter U, big curved line, and cut it out and glued it down. And I think that added the just right detail to my cute, happy blue and pink monster. And I shall name her Sylvia. Why not? She looks like a Sylvia. Super cute. The very last monster I made was this big striped tall one, and I actually use gift wrapping paper. I have a lot of gift wrapping stuff, so I am gonna use what I have around the house. So I just cut the gift wrapping paper to be a little bit longer than the length of my paper towel tube, and I added a bunch of glue to it, wrapped it around nice and tight, and tucked in those ends just like you did on the other ones. And now I'm ready for those fun details. What will my monster look like? I am gonna start with the hair this time, and I had some pom-pom balls, so I'm gonna give it some yellow pom-pom hair. I just glued it down. Now, if you're using supplies like this and all you have is Elmer's glue like I had, they will fall off easily if you keep moving it around real fast. So if you're gluing pom-poms down or buttons down or anything like that, you're gonna have to be patient and let it dry. Once the glue dries, they will be stuck down really well. Now I'm ready to draw my eyes. I drew my eyes just on regular white paper with a black marker. I drew them once and I was like, not too happy with those. So I just redrew them, tried again, cut them out, and glued them down. After I got my eyes glued down, I decided to go for the arms, and guess what, guys? This monster has 6 crazy arms. So I cut my paper with it folded so that each side was symmetrical, cut all my pieces out, and glued them down. And he is already starting to look like a really crazy monster. And no monster is complete without a mouth, so I definitely have to add a mouth. I'm gonna do a simple half of a oval. So just a U with a line on top. Cut it out, glue it down, then cut out a couple of big pointy monster teeth just shaped like a triangle and glue those down, and we have a mouth, and we are ready to add the next few final details to it. And if you know me, I love me some Frida Kahlo. So inspired by one of my favorite artists is, you guessed it, I'm gonna give my little monster a unibrow. I found some leftover yellow fuzzies from a puffball, and I thought, hey, instead of throwing this away, I could totally use this. So I glued down some little fuzzies, gave it a little unibrow, and then I looked at it and said, the belly, just like the pink one, is still a little too bare. What can I add? So I took some buttons that I had in my little craft box and glued them down, and voila! I have me a funky, fun, crazy little Frida inspired monster. And I think I've been saying he, but I think I'm gonna make this a she. This is going to be Frida, my monster. So here we have it. We have Frida, Sylvia, and Fred. I had so much fun creating these guys. I can't wait to see what your monster looks like. And don't forget, be you, be creative, stay positive, and make art.